Hello, my beautiful subscribers, all of social media, YouTube. Welcome. This is Tina from Tinaheals.com, and we are beginning with my astrological exposition of the full moon in Aquarius, which is happening on August the 3rd. Aquarius is the 11th sign of the zodiac, and this lunation is happening on the 11th degree and 45 minutes, so we round it off to 12 minutes, 12 degrees. So Aquarius is not made to fit in. It's a fixed sign, so it has a lot of endurance, concentration. It is wet, and because air signs are wet, it is air and masculine. So on the 3rd of August, we have a very Uranian full moon because the full moon is square Uranus, and this is actually an energy of change. Many astrologers consider Uranus to be the ruler of Aquarius. I don't. I consider Saturn to be the ruler of this lunation, and any lunation that happens under Saturn's gaze is said to be afflicted. So Saturn is retrograding in Capricorn on the 28 degrees, and this is interesting for me because this is the degree of my lot of fortune, and incidentally it also happens to be the degree of exaltation of Mars. So it's a very interesting energy where Saturn is retrograding. It is the degree of exaltation of Mars who's just stationed retrograde, and for all of 2020 we are going to experience a Mars retrograde. So moon is afflicted, like I told you. It is ruled by a retrograde Saturn, and the exaltation ruler of Aquarius happens to be Mercury. Although many disagree, and some say that Aquarius is rather peculiar because no planet is actually exalted in Aquarius. But I beg to disagree. I think Mercury works well as the exalted ruler of Aquarius. So Mercury, the main aspect that Mercury is making is an opposition to the greater malefic Saturn. Now, Mercury and Venus are both thankfully direct, having cleared their shadow, and this lunation actually, so let us understand Aquarius. It's an anthropomorphic sign. That means it's a humane sign. And if you look at the moon really has no essential dignity in Aquarius. She's of the night sect and Aquarius is day sect. Moon is green and the taste salty. The moon is feminine, cold, moist, and fertile. Aquarius is masculine, somewhat damp, and barren. So you see that there is really nothing in common that, both these, the sign and the luminary shares. They just have no commonality. So Aquarius, this lunation happens to be in the second decan of Aquarius, 12 degrees. So the second decan of Aquarius is actually ruled by Mercury according to the Gemini triplicity. So it's very mercurial, and we have intellectuals. Natives of this decan are intellectuals. They are usually the no problem types. They love knowledge. They want complete autonomy, not just in all their dealings and all their relationships and everything. They want autonomy. Very, very good orators, and they have a certain honesty in the way they talk, certain honesty. And now when you look at the tarot card of this decan, it is 6 of Swords. So when you think of the significations to this image, this archetypal image, you think of travel, like moving away from turbulent waters into calmness, into healing, So it could also be feeling blue, depressed, melancholy, or sadness. But it speaks to me of recovery and definitely travel. Now, if you look at some of the significations of the moon, voyages, travels, wanderings are all significations of Luna. So it's very interesting, this tarot card, and how it ties up to the significations of the moon. Now we are feeling this very blue vibe because we have the exaltation ruler opposite a Saturn retrograde who rules this lunation. And I also feel that because of the square to Uranus, there'll be a lot of seismic activity. So expect earthquakes, people. Okay, expect earthquakes. Now, moving on to understanding some of the deep symbology of this lunation. This happens to be in the 24th mansion called SAL AL SUUD, okay, or luckiest of the luckiest, Kappa cohort, right? Kappa cohort. And this mansion spans from about 25 Cap to 8 odd of Aquarius. And this is like I said, very lucky. And we can really think of Mercury as being quite a lucky planet sometimes, And this mercurial vibe with this Gemini triplicity rulership tells me that we are learning to decode our future. And I think AI, the cryptocurrency, blockchain based technologies, universal income, they're all going to be a huge part of this, okay? And if you really look at the polarization that is rampant right now, you can also bring and link this up to the archetype of Gemini, incessant polarization, higher self, lower self, and the constant tug and pull within us, and that's going on. But there is a fertility to this mansion, because a lot of astrologers have tied this Arabic astrologers have tied this mansion to nurturing and breastfeeding. Okay, the lord of this mansion is Abrine, Abrine. He is the mansion lord. And Agrippa, a 16th century astrologer, said that one of the significations of this manzil or this mansion is a woman giving suck to her son. So literally breastfeeding. Now, about marriage, astrologers are divided in their opinion. Some say this manzil is good, some say this manzil is not so good. What I know is that this manzil is not good for people in power. Okay, it is not going to be good for people who use their power unwisely, who exploit people. And I feel there is a literal rebirth that's taking place. Okay, a literal rebirth. This mansion is about birthing, nurturing. It could be a baby, it could be a project as well. This manzil is a benefic manzil, but there could be, with too much mothering comes smothering. Now, the Sabian symbol of this lunation happens to be people and stairs graduated upwards. So I immediately thought of the rise of the underdog. And I immediately thought of how this manzil is not good for the powerful. So it may not be a complete breakthrough, but steady progress. So rise up to manifest. I think that is the key energy of this manzil. Now, the Chandra symbol the Omega symbol for 12 of Aquarius is very interesting. It's a man struck by lightning, is miraculously unharmed. So again, we see how the Omega symbol channels this very benefic component of this manzil. And when we think of the Chandra symbol, it is also beautiful. A heated argument turns into laughter. So overall, we see that there could be, the portent of danger, but I think we will be able to turn danger into wisdom, into laughter, and really use this energy, this luckiest of the luckiest Manzals. It is such a powerful energy vibration, and I think we need to use this. We need to tune into luck right now, because that's what we all feel pretty unlucky. This mansion is SAL al SUUD, SAL al SUUD, luckiest of the lucky. Now the full moon is also conjunct the fixed star Albali. Okay, and this is of the nature of Saturn and Mercury. Again, Mercury adding on the signification. Mercury rules this decan by triplicity, and this full moon is also conjunct a fixed star, which is of the nature of Saturn and Mercury. And Saturn rules his lunation, and Saturn is so active right now, right? Saturn is such an active presence, being in that 28 degrees, which is the exaltation of Mars, and being sort of in a difficult conversation with Mercury. So fixed star Albali is of the nature of Saturn and Mercury. Now Albali is also opposite the sun. It's conjunct the moon, it's opposite the sun. And this is often indicative of danger and can cause persecution and even death. But it also can give good fortune. So now there are 50 terms, and the 360 degrees of the zodiac is broken up into 50 terms. So the first 7 degrees of Aquarius belongs to Mercury, and the next 6 belong to Venus. And we were just speaking about Venus and how Venus is conjunct Rahu, the north node, and she's oriental to the sun in this lunation in a masculine air sign. So issues of women will resurrect, just like I told you about the comet Neowise, and how Neowise is actually a significator of the end of patriarchal institutions and patriarchal oppression as we know it. It is really up to us to create alchemy, because that is what we can do with this energy. Remember that Aquarius means Atma Vidya. So that is the occult significance of Aquarius. And Atma Vidya is soul wisdom. So self-actualization is actually one of the ultimate goals of Aquarius. It rules astrology. So of course, with the full moon in Aquarius, it's really a good time to get an astrological reading. Now, circulatory system can be affected. Full moons. Take care of your shins and ankles, because there could be ankle sprains, breaks, varicose veins, and all kinds of problems because of osteoporosis. Okay, so Uranus also, remember, controls sexual glands, and Uranus is squaring this lunation. So there's a lot of electrical sexual energy. But the energy of Aquarius, it does not fit in. It does not try to possess. Yet its ruler Saturn wants control. So I think this is the dichotomy of Aquarius that is symbolized by the sine and the cosine waves. Ultimately displaying duality, where this universe is dual. The signature is dual. So we are definitely going to identify with the human condition. We are going to feel humble, because Aquarius can be very humble. Yes, it can be very megalomaniacal, but there's something about Aquarius that is very modest, that is very humble. And it's all about experimentation, being innovating, innovative, unpredictable too, of course, don't forget that. However, we may have the propensity to intellectualize everything, but again, that may not be, in our best interest, because, Venus rules this lunation by term. So Venus is the connecting principle. So there is definitely something deeper that we don't quite know, because Aquarius, it rules time, space. It rules deep abstract space. So all things futuristic, AI, we don't know. Uh, I think we need to just keep in mind the affirmation of Aquarius, that is I know. And what do you know? Remember the words that twamasi, that thou art. Okay, so it is definitely a time to collapse timelines and manifest, because when you think of the sine and the cosine waves, they collapse timelines. So this is something that we need to know, that we know within us the truth, the beatitude of existence, the profound connections to humanity, human life. I mean, all of sentient life. It's a new beginning. I think this Aquarius moon, a full moon. It is a time when, in a sense, we are all going searching for a holy grail. And I told you how Neowise, watch my video on it, how Neowise activates this grail quest. So go on your quest, and I mean, ultimately you're gonna have to stick by it, because Saturn is gonna come right back into your sign in December, and it's gonna meet Jupiter right at the 0 degrees of Aquarius. So this is going to be a change, and a much needed change. So tune into the universal electricity that is Aquarius. Take care of salts in your body. Give up iodized salt, give up, start off with pink Himalayan rock salt, of course. You can use salt for protection work. You can, have nimbu pani or jeera pani with salt. Just remember that self-realization is the path of gnosis. It is the path of the ultimate realization of Brahman. And that is what Aquarius is all about, the realization of Brahman, of the ultimate reality. So it's about that moment of kumbhak, which I told you how Aquarius links to the kumbhak in pranayam. And the kumbhak is when the breath is retained and expelled, and there is a complete and utter suspension of the breath. So in that moment, self-realization or gnosis is possible. So retention of the breath in pranayama is of two types. It is antari, which is inhalation, and bhajya, which is exhalation. And this is followed by kevala kumbhak, which is complete suspension of the breath. And when there is no exhalation and there is no inhalation, there is self-realization. So work with your breath, work with your the keywords I know, and come from a place of soul-centric wisdom, because Aquarius can become very dry, detached, but always remember its polarity is Leo, where we have the sun. So the sun brings in the heart-centric, lucky streak, because the sun is how we shine. Not just how we shine, but how we make others shine. So book your readings with me. Book your kumbhaka, pranayama sessions with me. Guided meditation, body work, tantric healing sessions, as well as spells and Reiki, which I can do distantly, which I mostly do distantly. And soon I will be starting my one-on-one face-to-face sessions. So speak soon. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and much love. Let's manifest together a beautiful reality this full moon. I know we can do it, brothers and sisters. Let's awaken to this beautiful possibility of. Thank you. Speak soon.